To the long-awaited murder trial for the accused serial killer known as the Grim Sleeper. Lonnie Franklin is charged with murdering 9 women and a teenage girl over a span of 3 decades. The trial got off to an emotional start yesterday, and today the prosecution called the coroner to the stand. NBC4's Conan Nolan just stepped out of the courthouse with an update. Conan.
That's right. This is the matter-of-fact, very deliberative work on the part of the prosecution to go after exactly how these women died, where they were murdered, where they were dumped, the state of their bodies, and how this ties to their suspect, this being, of course, Lonnie Franklin Jr. We have pictures to show you. This is from yesterday, actually, because the court is not allowing cameras into the courtroom for the remainder of the trial other than opening and closing arguments. In any case, I can tell you that the suspect in this case, the 63-year-old as he's been called, the suspected Grim Sleeper, that moniker stemming from the fact that this was a series of murders that took place between 1985 and 1988, and then there was a 14-year gap before they picked up again in 2002. Although police believe there were murders possibly the result of this defendant during that period, they just haven't been able to connect him to any of those. In any case, the work of the prosecution today was talking to the medical examiners about the state of decomposition and how these women were actually murdered. We talked with Victoria Redstall, who is an author. She's written several books on serial killers, and she's following this case.
It was horrific to see, and you look around, and actually the judge was cringing. So, I thought she was used to these death penalty cases, because, I've seen a number of them, but she was like this, she was making all these sorts of faces. And the family members, again, thank God, the family members of the victims we saw weren't actually in the courtroom today. But the other victims' family members are in the courtroom today, and I'm sure that they're just putting that together, that was their daughter, their sister, their aunt, and it's just so devastating for the family members.
She's referring to the photographs that were shown today. There were others that were shown during opening statements yesterday that were very difficult to look at. These were worse because it showed a severe state of decomposition on part of the bodies. Part of the issue refers to how close the weapon was. Many of these women were fired and killed by a .25 caliber weapon, a weapon they believe they are able to tie the suspect to, and that the barrel of the weapon was almost touching their body at the time of the discharge of the weapon itself. In any case, this will continue for the next several days, if not weeks, as the prosecution formally puts together its approach as to why these victims, how they were murdered, why they were murdered, and how it ties to the defendant. Reporting outside the Hall of Justice downtown, I'm Conan Nolan, NBC4 News. Back to you.